Hi, beautifuls. Welcome back to Women, Wine and Wisdom. I'm Jummy.
I'm Naomi.
And today, I'm going to be introducing our wine, which we've already poured.
Yeah.
So today we have a wine called Tall Gum. It's a Shiraz Cabernet.
Mm-hmm.
It is a 2022 wine and 14% volume and an Australian wine. So yes, here we are. Okay. I'll put that down here.
I'm excited to get started on this wine.
Yeah, should we have a little sip?
I mean,
cheers first.
Yes, Jimmy. That is nice. That's nice.
That is a really nice wine. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna like that. I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna slowly slip on it. I'm gonna slowly sip on it.
That's a nice wine.
Yeah, that is really nice. That's a really easy drink to drink.
So topic-wise, do you want to do the intro to our topic today?
Oh, let's do it. So, guys, we have had so much good comments and feedback and views on dating mistakes.
Yep.
So we thought it'd be only right to go for a dating mistakes part two.
Absolutely.
So, Jimmy, what other mistakes do you feel like a lot of females make in the dating game? And do you feel like we should break it down into different decades? So in your teens, in your 20s, in your 30s?
Absolutely. I feel like I love that idea.
Yeah.
I can't remember my teens. I feel like it was a long time ago.
Years ago.
But I'm definitely down to talk about the 20s and the 30s. I feel like it'll be more relatable. And I'll probably remember it a lot more.
Yeah.
So one for my 30s, I'd say. One for the 30s. And actually late 20s, because actually something I've actually been thinking about recently. And it's for the independent, highly ambitious women.
Sure.
Can you guess what I'm going to say? I've said it to you before.
I'm not too sure. Tell me, what are you going to say? What are you thinking?
So I always say I don't really feel that men particularly are so interested in what you do as a job and how much money you bring to the table.
Yeah.
And I think one mistake I used to make, and I've probably spoken about this in another podcast, like our podcast, but another episode before, is I would lead with my accomplishments.
Yeah.
And there's no point.
Nope. Absolutely
There is absolutely no point. So with time, what I've realized is you need to be able to take a back seat as a woman and just let the man lead. If he asks you a question, don't get me wrong, there's no need to lie about your accomplishments and your achievements. Like, you've done amazing, girl, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's something that you should lead with.
No.
So, yeah.
Totally agree with that.
On a day, I would let him do the talking. I'd answer the questions, obviously. For example, I feel like before I'd be like, yeah, I've been to uni like 3 times. I have 3 degrees in this, this, and this. Now, I won't even mention it. I won't even say anything yet until he asks.
Yeah. No, and I totally agree. I mean, I second that. Ladies, it's for a lot of men, they do not care, sadly, about your achievements and your accomplishments. We're not saying don't go out and, be a hustler and, go and achieve the highest of your heights.
Gold.
Go for gold.
Yeah.
But at the same time, some men don't care about that
Enough.
Yeah. And sometimes it can trigger jealousy. Sometimes sometimes they kind of crawl into their feminine energy.
Thank you. I was just about to say that. You literally make him more feminine and you become more masculine. Yeah. And obviously, depending on the dynamic you want your relationship to be, which is that's not the relationship dynamic I personally want. But yeah, you're gonna if you behave in a masculine way, then your man's gonna relax, and then you're gonna be like, wait, why is this happening?
Yeah, 100%. He'll be asking you to split the bills.
Yeah. And if he talks about 50-50, I don't know about all that.
But at the same time, it's all up to you. If you're happy to go 50-50 with your man, and if you're happy for, to take the lead and have a more, masculine energy in your relationship as a female, then that's fine.
Do you think that it should be 50-50 though in relationships? Like, what's your opinion on that? Like, let's say we're in a household, and he's like, I want to do 50-50 with bills. I've got a few friends that do 50-50. What's your personal opinion?
I mean, it's a really hard one to answer that.
Yeah.
And it is one that I kind of go back and forth on quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I quite have a definitive view on it, if I'm being totally honest, and it might change in the next few weeks or months or years. But ultimately, I understand that society is in a very different place.
Yeah.
And so, you know, women and men are working, as opposed to maybe 60 plus years ago, where you'd see more women staying at home looking after the family and more men going out to work. And so with societal changes, people need to adapt.
Okay.
Ultimately, I feel if I am working, I do feel like you too should be able to, you as a man should be able to share some of the roles and responsibilities at home.
The household roles, yeah.
Yep. So ultimately, if you want me to give it my all and be cooking every day and be looking after the kids like almost at 100% and doing all of that, then you have to give me the ability to not work. Yeah. Because being a housewife, I'm sorry, but it's a job.
It's an actual job.
It's a full-time job.
It is.
So, you know, give me that flexibility of being able to not work, stay at home, look after the kids, look after the house. And then, you know, that's that. But then if you want me to work and also bring money into the house, well, then I'm going to expect you to also pull your weight.
Yeah. I think when we talk about the 50-50 dynamic as well, people automatically just assume that, oh, it's 50-50 in terms of money-wise and the bills and things. But there are actually, like, you can do a 60-40 and it still works out.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
We don't have to, it doesn't have to be an all or nothing, like, approach almost.
Yeah.
We can still do 60-40. Yeah. We can do 70-30 depending on the dynamic. Yes, society is advanced, but there are still women that work and maybe part-time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? There are still women that, for example, don't work at all and don't do housewife duties. They have cleaners, they have nannies, and they're real ladies of leisure.
Absolutely. What are your views on it? What are your thoughts?
I don't think any relationship is ever 50-50, if I'm completely honest, because, for example, even not just necessarily monetary wise, household wise, it just can't be 50-50 is my opinion. So for me, I'd be happy with like the 70-30, 60-40 type percentage. Okay. Financially, and I feel like where I lack, you can pick up, and where you lack, I can pick up. It's a partnership, like you said.
Yeah.
Society has advanced, but there are still, unfortunately, there are just still some things that I personally think that is a man's job and is a woman's job in terms of, and I feel like gender roles and traditional roles, you tend to see more successful relationships. I think society nowadays, we're seeing a lot of divorce, a lot of people breaking up, people not knowing what they want. Maybe we should think about that.
Yeah, no, definitely. We should definitely think about that. Going back onto more dating mistakes.
Yes.
I think for me, one of the biggest dating mistakes that a lot of young females make in their 20s and maybe in their late teens is just giving it up for free. Giving up the cookie for free.
She said, no cookie for you.
Girls, you know, you got to package yourself and you've got to respect yourself. Don't just let a man walk all over you and demand sex on tap. That is not going to keep a man. Let me tell you for free, it will not keep a man. Like, you're not the only girl he's probably having sex with. And you're just because you give him the best sex of his life, that doesn't place value on the relationship, and it doesn't make him want you anymore. Because
he can get that from elsewhere.
Exactly.
So you need to bring more to the table than just that, unfortunately.
Absolutely. And it can be very, like, misleading, because a guy is, you know, telling you, oh, you know, that was great, and just wanting to cuddle up with you because he's had sex with you after he's had sex with you. And then you're there thinking, oh, you know, he's enjoyed spending time with me. You know, we're spending time in the bed together. I get to see him every other week. If it's all sex-based, girl, run.
Literally run. And
run.
That even brings me to the point of, like, the 20s as well. When you're dating, you want to make sure that you're dating a man in his when he's ready.
Yeah.
Like, you need to date a man when he's ready, but also don't confuse sexual attention for relationship attention.
Absolutely.
Because what you described is like almost relationship where you're like, you know, you're in bed, you're chilling, you're laying together, you're seeing each other quite regularly. That does not mean he likes you.
It doesn't mean. It does not mean.
So you need to be able to differentiate between that sexual energy and potential relationship energy.
100%.
If you want potential relationship energy, that's the avenue you want to position yourself in, and that's the kind of man that you want to be dating.
Yeah.
And just to kind of roll off of that as well is you want to date a man in his state of readiness. A man's only going to date you when he's ready.
100%.
And you can, as women, we're more adaptable, more moldable, you know, and we will date even if we're not really ready.
Yeah, we'll date when we see potential as well, which is also
another topic.
Because
we're going to talk about potential.
We're going to talk about potential.
How it changes in your 20s and your 30s.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think date a man in a state of readiness and make sure you're not confusing sexual tension for relationship attention.
100%. I totally agree. Yeah. No, that's a good point.
I feel like there's one thing that you always say, and I can't remember it from the top of my head, but you always say it.
You'll regret
That's it.
what you allow.
Thank you. Talk about that, please.
Let me even just repeat it, just for the people at the back that maybe didn't, maybe they were brewing their tea. I don't know. You'll regret. You will regret what you allow. Let me expand on that. So,
please do.
If you start off dating a guy and you allow him to, I don't know,
run rings around you,
and then all of a sudden 5 years later you're like complaining about that same very thing, you're going to regret it. You're going to regret the fact that you allowed it to go on for as long as you did. You should have caught it right at the beginning. Don't allow something to pass you by and then in 5 years, 3 years, 10 years, I went a bit backwards on that, but in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, you start saying, oh, actually, this is the very thing that I can't stand about a guy, like it irritates me. Don't do that to yourself because you should have caught that a long time ago.
Yes.
But I have to shout out my friend Tatiana because she gave me that.
I knew exactly. I was like, what is that saying that Tatiana always says?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really like that one.
Yeah.
Because it's actually true. And that's not only in relationships, that is generally across the board. I think that's at work. I think that is in friendships. I think that is in actual relationships.
Absolutely.
Across the board.
100%. There'll be times where people will take a job and they will say, yep, I'm happy to do it for free. I'm happy to, not pay, to not get paid for the job or whatever. And then a year later, they turn around and be like, no, I need to get paid for this. Yeah. But the thing is, you agreed to that not being paid.
Yep.
So don't start regretting what you allowed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's a very good one to roll into my next one. So I feel like with the 20s and the 30s as well, to be honest, but more in your 20s, I feel like we talk about red flags a lot, but red flags normally show you signs. So please, before you see the red flags, you will see an amber, you will see a yellow, potentially an orange, depending on how much you see colour.
I'm telling
but you will see a flag.
Might even see a brown. Just be mindful.
It doesn't matter. But when you see those flags, do not ignore them. Because 100%. Like you said, when you ignore them, 5 years down the line, you're going to regret it.
100%.
You're going to regret it. Because, 100%. And I think this is really important as well, because when you are out of the dating situation and you're in a relationship, for example, the little things that you don't like sometimes become the things that you hate.
Yeah.
So when you see the yellow flags in the beginning or in the middle and they're amber, address them.
100%.
Address those issues.
Have you ever had a red flag that you felt like you ignored?
I mean, do you know what? It's so funny. Like, definitely. I feel like I've definitely seen flags in like previous, dating situations or relationships. Yeah. And I ignored the flag. And it just came back to bite me in the bum. It just came back to bite me in the bum. And 100%. So, for example, I dated, in fact, I was in a relationship for a couple of years. And 6 months into that relationship, right, there was just this flag slapping me. Slapping me. And I kind of ignored it. And I was like, nah, it's just me being me. Because I'm like, my mom calls me like Efiko, which means like goody two shoes. Oh, wow. So like I saw a non-goody two shoes kind of trend. And I'm like, this isn't normal. But I was like, no, maybe it's just me being me. Please believe 3 years later, those same issues were coming up. And what I didn't like in the beginning, I hated by then. Yeah. So yeah, I've definitely seen some flags that I've ignored. And it only came back to bite me. So now, and that's why I say in your 20s, girl, you see that sometimes you can't really see well and it's looking a bit orange. It's red. Yeah. It's going to turn red.
Take off your glasses and look well. Squint your eye. Yes. Yes. And I think quite a few girls have been in this situation.
Of course.
Where you're dating a guy, you think it's going somewhere, you're waiting. You're waiting.
What are we waiting for, please?
That is the question. Okay. You are just waiting for that penny to drop or that moment to happen. And it doesn't happen. And what is that called? Situationships.
It's called a waste of time.
That as well.
It's called a waste of time.
So, yeah, that's definitely a red flag. If a guy is not ready to lock it down, girl, run for the hills. Do not wait.
The thing is, can we talk about this actually? Like, what do we, like, what's a good length of time to kind of potentially wait? So the reason why I'm asking this question, is because one of my friends, shout out Ozzy, by the way. So he was speaking to me about our last episode.
Okay.
And what he was saying was that, you could potentially, the woman, for example, in acrimony, he was like, she waited 17 years, but like, had she held out a few more years, she would have been absolutely fine. And I was like, it's a very good point. But for me personally, I would have missed that mark a long time because 100%. I would have been done from 2 years ago,
100%.
like 2 years in. So what is a good waiting period? And does that change as you age in dating?
I think everyone will have their threshold.
Yeah.
Right? I think everyone will have their limit. Everyone will have that moment that just says no. And I think it really comes down to what I've learned anyway, is that a lot of it comes down to self-respect and how you respect yourself. Because I don't think a guy should have to take a year to tell you, oh, let's make it official. And
I'm sorry. A year?
No, but do you know what? Some people have been in those situations where they've waited, like, I don't know, there's been procrastination for a year.
Yeah. The thing is,
but then it ends up being a situation. But at the same time, I feel like it's very... I think it's not, it doesn't always apply.
It doesn't.
And because there are some people...
to me, I feel like is long, but then I don't know if I feel like... It does depend on situation to situation as well, like you said. I do agree with that. Mm-hmm. But for me now, if I was to start dating somebody and it took them a year...
wait a year.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to wait a year. Because I'm sorry, what are you waiting for?
It's definitely not one that I'd be advising anyone
to do.
Just to be clear. But I understand that it is like circumstantial for each individual person.
Yeah.
So, but ultimately, I think it, like I was saying before, it comes down to what you're willing to tolerate and how long you'll wait it out for, what you can tolerate, really.
Yeah. Do you think it changes from 20s to 30s?
Absolutely. I think when you hit your 30s, you realise, hello, I've not got no time to waste.
I've got no time to waste. Secondly, I know what I bring to the table, even though I really don't like that saying. But why would I be waiting for 1 year for you to decide whether this is going to work for you or it's not going to work for you?
But this is why, like, this kind of information is very applicable to those who are in their 20s. Also in their 30s, if you are wasting your time. But more so in your 20s, because I feel like in my 20s, I feel like I wasted a lot of time with guys that I just probably shouldn't have. And I think when you're in your 20s and you're a young female dating, you date a lot of guys for the potential. Oh, so you I know I keep on dropping this
that
in.
potential. Every time you say it, I'm like, oh.
But in your 20s, that's what a lot of females do. And a lot of the time, it's because guys are not at their pinnacle point until they hit their 30s.
Yep.
And we discussed this in a previous episode. So watch out for that, because we do have guest speakers who come on and talking about it. And they are guys. So definitely watch out for that. But, most men get to their kind of like peak in their 30s. What did he say, from 35?
He said 30 to 42, I think he said. And I was like 42.
Yeah.
So I remember that. Yeah.
So whereas women are in our peaks in our 20s. So listen up, ladies. If you are in your 20s, listen to what we're saying.
She's holding that in.
Make sure you know your value. Do not settle. Do not waste time. Don't let a guy tell you he's going to take a year before he knows what he wants out of you. Don't just go sleeping around with him.
No.
This is your
peak. Yeah.
This is your peak. So command what you want, know what you want, date a guy with intention, have a clear idea of what you're looking for in your guy, and also pray on it.
I like that. Yeah. One thing I was going to say as well with that is, and it's really interesting because obviously when they were like, oh, women are in their peak in their 20s, I see some fine women in their 30s and 40s. Can we talk about that, please?
No, let's speak on it. On it. Because
Mara always says to me, she's like, Jimmy, you're kind of an ageist, And I'm like, no, I'm genuinely not an ageist. I think I'm like more of a realist.
Yeah.
And I feel like because men tend to tell you, like when we have that conversation, he was like, yeah, your peak is your 20s. Do you know what I mean? And it's like...
It's not. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think biologically, we're in a better position in our 20s.
Yes.
That's just science. Don't come and beat me. That's science. But in terms of your earning potential as a woman, where you are in your career,
how you feel about yourself,
you knowing who you are.
Yes.
Thriving in your singleness. Hello.
Okay. Talk about it.
You know, like I know a lot of females who are in the gym more times now in their 30s than they were ever in their 20s and teens.
Mm-hmm. And that's because the body goes a little bit left. But okay.
But they're really taking good care of themselves. And as a woman in your 30s, you're earning a bit more. Yeah. So you're treating yourself, you're getting your hair done, you're buying clothes, you're taking yourself on holiday. Your wellness is in a much better place.
Yeah. And when your wellness is in a better place, you're in a better place. So that's 100%. Why when they're like, yeah, women, you're in your peak at your 20s, I'm like, I want to fight you on it.
Yeah. So biologically, yes. But then everything else, you can still be thriving. You could be thriving at 50. Let me tell you, look at J-Lo. Look at J-Lo. Jada Pinkett. Yeah, I know they're celebrities, but I'm sure we all also know personal people, personal aunties that look great. Like your mum looks fantastic.
Thanks.
Hello, hi. That is your sister right there.
She's going to watch this and be so gassed. She's going to watch this and be so gassed, and I'm going to be like, oh.
No, honestly.
But no, it's really important. I think it's really important to highlight that even if, as a woman, if you're 30 and over, you are not expiring.
You're not expiring.
You're in the beginning of a new journey. Like 30s is great.
100%. And the right man will appreciate it.
Amen.
The right man will appreciate it. Let's talk about mature men.
Find you one of those.
30 plus. Well, I don't know.
It depends at what age you're at. If you're 25, 30 plus. If you're 30, look, maybe a couple years older. But no.
Yeah, there are some men who are just, you know, because I think a lot of the times on these platforms we bash a lot of men and we make it seem like, you know, men are just out here just trying to nitpick and just, you know, but there are some amazing men out there. So I also want to give hope to my fellow females out there. There are some great men out there. I personally know quite a few. They are amazing men, and I would recommend them if there was enough of them. Maybe one or two I wouldn't. But generally speaking, don't give up hope as well. Because I think a lot of the times when you get into your 30s and you're trying to date, it is a struggle. And I hear so many of my
time, it's hard work.
I hear so many of my friends say, listen, it's so dry out here, the streets are cold. But I don't want you to give up hope. There are amazing men out there. And like I mentioned earlier, pray on it. Have a real clear idea of what you want in a guy. Because I think sometimes we lead based on what we want, not what we need.
Okay, talk about that.
And so, like, you know, and so Syrah might be quite a good example here. She thought she wanted someone like a Future.
We spoke about this.
Boy.
We spoke about this. Do you remember?
Yeah, we did. You know, sometimes you want the bad boy. You think, oh, every girl's after him. He wants me.
Future. Can you imagine? Yeah.
Please. Do you know what I mean? But then Russell Wilson is known as, quote unquote, the good guy.
We're going to talk about this a little bit more actually today. Now that you've just said that, right? So have you seen recently that she wore like a more revealing outfit?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a picture of her, and she's with Russell, and she's like more dressed more revealingly, so you can see kind of like the legs, the bum. I think she's kind of in a thong and like a silver one piece is kind of see through.
Okay.
Now my question would be, right, if she was dating someone like Future, would she wear that? Because a lot of the articles online are basically saying that she doesn't respect her man. Because otherwise she wouldn't have left the house like that. And same thing with that we spoke about on I think one of our previous episodes. Sierra would have stayed with Future if he wanted to. It's just a fact.
Yeah.
And
100%.
so how do we differentiate between what it is that we need and want? Because again, this just swinging it back to dating a little bit. You don't want to get into a dating situation and then you're bored. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Because potentially, don't get me wrong, there are some amazing men, but you're boring as well. You're actually, and there's amazing women, and they're boring too. Do you know what I mean? But
No,
how do we differentiate that, and how do we navigate that? What kind of advice can we give?
Oof, there's a lot of ground to cover over there, girl. You know, but I think kind of looping it back to what you mentioned initially, which is how do you identify between what you want and what you need?
Yeah.
I think for the most part, what you want is probably something that like is based more on the physical, in my opinion.
Okay.
So maybe you wanted a guy who was over 6 foot tall, a guy who has long hair, a guy who has like a guy who has 8-pack, a guy who is, I don't know, just Like,
alpha.
It
gives off that alpha vibe.
Yeah, gives off that alpha vibe. And, you know, maybe that's, in your mind, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Maybe even a guy with green eyes as well. Let's just throw that in there.
Yeah, why not?
But then you might meet him and he doesn't treat you the way you need to be treated. Do you see what I mean? Absolutely. And I feel like all of what you need has been lost in the physical.
What you see.
And also what you exactly. And, you know, I feel like a lot of people are not very in tune with who they are as a person.
Facts.
Because then you might meet somebody and the person has, I don't know, maybe normal brown eyes. Maybe the person is 5'8".
I'm 5'9" though, so just putting out there.
Yeah, but still. And then you might find that you and that person have such a deep connection, but because on paper or in the physicality it's not what you want, you end up overlooking all of that. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, attraction is very important in a relationship. It is.
For both men and for women.
100%.
Different scales though.
Different scales, because I feel like a lot more women, in my experience, have been able to adapt to the relationship.
I have, but then my question is sometimes is, are they truly happy? And that's the question, because a lot of the time you'll meet with women and they'll be talking and they just settle down.
But the thing is, I think a lot of it will come down to the fact that, because I think women can connect more on a spiritual connection. Yeah. And I feel like men are more moved by sight.
Of course, I agree.
And I feel like
So long, lady, just on the dating advice there, look after yourself. Wellness is important. Men are more moved by sight.
Yeah, don't just use the fact that you're in a relationship as an excuse to just let it all hang. You still got to look after yourself.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've lost my train of thought now.
Don't worry about it. Basically, look good.
Look good in your relationship. Maintain your man.
Yeah, I don't know. I do feel like.
What do you think? Yeah.
I definitely feel that men are more moved by sight, but I do think we need to be careful with what our wants and needs are.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I feel like, let's say, you know, if you have 10 needs and he meets 7, that's actually kind of okay. You can kind of work with the 3 that he lacks.
Yeah.
But I also do think that if he's not physically attractive to you, because, for example, like, I'm 5'9". I potentially want to date someone that's my height or taller, more than likely taller. Now it's probably like a little thing, but I could get over the green eyes. Do you see what I mean? There's certain physical aspects that I could potentially get over, but just because I'm, for example, 30, doesn't necessarily mean I now need to date somebody that's 5'5". Yeah. Doesn't have no hair, because I said I like men with hair. Do you know what I mean? I do date men with no hair too, but do you see what I mean? It's like I don't need to compromise on all that too, because at the end of it, I need to do 50, 60, 70 years with you. Life is long.
Listen, but that's the thing. For me personally, I encourage people to date their best friends.
Yeah, facts.
If your partner is your best friend, no matter what, you're just going to want to ride it out with them. You're going to enjoy their company. You're just going to love spending time with them. And that's what it comes down to at the end of the day, because there's going to be times where you hate the person. There's going to be times where they frustrate you.
Yep.
But if that person is your best friend, you will, in as much as they may frustrate you, you'll find a way to like come back and just be like, do you know what?
I think
there's this movie that's come on. Should we just watch it?
Yeah, like, I think in periods where you're not in love, you're best friends.
Exactly.
And I feel like that friendship, that best friend thing will re-spark.
It's always a crutch. Yeah,
it's always going to re-spark that love. So I like that one.
Yeah, it's always a foundation of the relationship. I think another thing to bear in mind as well is, personally, this one is a bit of a pivot though.
Okay.
This one's a bit of a pivot. And I know Jimmy can have something to say on
I'm definitely going to have something to say about it. Every time you say something like that, I'm like, I got something. But before that, wine.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Go, Nay.
Okay.
Sip, sip.
Go, Nay. Go, Nay. Sorry, why am I singing my own anthem? This is...
Smells nice. I like the smell.
I mean, Jimmy recently did a wine course. So she knows how to assess wine right now. Me, I'm still a baby girl.
Now, to be honest, the wine course was really interesting. I really enjoyed it. It was the Wesset level 1. Okay. I would definitely recommend, and I might do level 2 at some point. But let me just be enjoying drinking wine for now. What do you smell?
I feel like I smell cherries.
Yeah, dark fruit. That's swell.
Oh, let me copy you.
Yeah, release the aromas.
Release the aromas.
I also get a bit of strawberry. Do you get strawberry? Like a red fruit?
Yeah, a bit of strawberry.
I get the cherries as well.
And there's something else in there, but I can't quite.
Yeah, me too.
But nevertheless, this is quite an easy one to drink.
Yeah.
And I feel like it is, like, especially if you're doing like a girls' night, just chilling, you want a red. I think this is a good one.
Yeah. I really like this. It's very smooth, very nice to drink.
Very easy.
It's not really like, it's not like high acid or anything. Doesn't make your mouth dry. Makes your mouth water a little bit though, which I kind of like because it's like I want more of that wine.
Yeah, 100%. It definitely leaves you wanting to come back for more.
So this is the tall gum wine wine that we are talking about. And yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. What would I pair it with? What would you pair it with, Nay?
I feel like I would pair it with...
I would use this for a wine tasting night as well.
I would definitely use this for a wine. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think this would definitely go really well with creamy cheese.
Okay, I'm not a cheese girl because I'm lactose intolerant. However, I was going to say I'd pair it with a cheese board.
Yeah, a cheese board would be really, really nice with some cured meats and things like that. It's such an easy drink to drink. And I think it goes well with like a nice little snack, you know, a night where you're just having a few little games and just chilling with your friends and just want some light snacks. Yeah,
and if you're new to red wine, this would be a really good one.
Yes.
Yeah, this would 100%. Be a really, really good one. And it's from Virgin Wines.
Yes.
So yeah. Okay. So let's back to dating. I feel like you're going to throw something at me and I'm here for it.
Oh my gosh. Right. So I almost forgot it, but it's come back to me.
Come back now. Okay.
So in your 20s, I think a lot of the times we want to hear our friends' opinions.
Ooh. Okay.
You know where I'm going with this.
I know where you're going with this.
A lot in our 20s, we want to hear our friends' opinions. So we'll date a person and we'll say, oh, what do you think of this person? And we want to hear our friends say, oh, he's cute, or oh, she's gorgeous. In your 30s, well, I can't really speak for men because I feel like they still do that. But
do you think?
I still feel like they do. I still feel like they want to know that people are like, oh, your girl's cute.
And that's a status thing. But I don't know if they do that with their boys. That's the thing. So I feel like
they do.
Really how I don't really know. I don't know if you're dating and you're in a situationship. Do they tell their boys, what do you think about this woman? And if they're about to date you seriously, if you're in a situation and their boys are talking about you right there, you're probably in a situationship.
But I mean, do you know what? Having said that,
I don't think men do that.
Because do you know what? Actually, let me piggyback off that because if you've recently watched this season's Love Island, I'm sure every single person told you. Did you watch it?
No.
Oh, okay.
What happened?
All I'm saying is Shaq and Tanya. The people that are at home that watched it, they know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
But everyone probably would have told Shaq, leave that girl alone. She is running rings around you. But the fact of the matter is,
he didn't
listen to anyone. And so I think, you might be right. Maybe guys don't listen to their friends as much.
I don't think they do. Women, I mean, women, we ignore our friends, to be honest. Let's be honest. Let's not even lie. But I feel like as people get older, I think it's less about people's opinion and people care more about maybe what their family think, but more about what they think. I think people are able to make their own informed decision on who is right for them. Cool. And I'm going to give an example about this, and I think it's really interesting. So I think it's important that your family and certain friends of yours. So like I will only ask certain friends their opinion on my relationship, for example, in certain periods, right? And I do feel like your friends and family, I don't care if you think he's good looking or not. If you don't think he's good looking, better for me. Thank you. Do you know what I mean? That's better for me.
Yeah.
But one thing I do think is important, and I think I said this before, is that sometimes your family and friends are telling you something that you just can't see.
Yeah.
And it's happened to me before. And I wrote about it in my book. Yeah. You know, as I said, I was engaged once. And my friends, my family, for example, and certain friends were like, I'm not so sure.
But that's the thing. And that's why I said it's a bit of an interesting one. Because I think in your 20s, sometimes it can maybe be more of a popularity thing. Yeah. Do you like my boyfriend because he's cute? Like I want to be dating the cutest person.
No, it's true.
In the room.
No, it's true.
Whereas as you get older, I feel like you can still lean on your friends and family.
But what you lean on them for is different.
But yeah,
I agree.
It is different. And the people that really know you, I think we spoke about it in our previous dating mistakes episode, accountability people in your life.
Yeah.
And just them knowing to kind of tell you, actually, I don't think this is right for you.
Yeah.
Actually, I think this is what you need exactly.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know, some people have like temperaments, for example, and they want to date somebody who is just like them, but that could be the wrong idea.
Yeah, and maybe opposites attract sometimes.
Opposites attract sometimes, yeah. In some circumstances, opposites attract. Maybe you're an impatient person and you meet somebody who's very patient. That's a good combination, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, but you might turn around and be like, oh, she's so slow, she's so annoying. But then the fact of the matter is, if you dated somebody who was fire and fire, it's just it's a disaster.
Yeah. One dating mistake that I'm just gonna actually piggyback off my last comment is, if you feel like something's not right for you, walk away.
100% walk away.
Walk away. I was just saying that, you know, I was once engaged. I never actually got married, and because that relationship wasn't right for me, feel free to walk away. And that's in your 20s and in your 30s.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know when you're in your 30s, you feel like, maybe, I don't know if this is going to happen for me again. It will happen for you again.
It will happen.
It will happen for you again. And trust me, you will be 10 times happier because you know exactly what it is that you want.
Yeah.
And what you need. And you also realize what you can live without.
Yes.
And I think that's really important. Yeah. Be willing to walk away at any given point. If the relationship does not serve you...
Amen. I was going to say that. If it does not serve you anymore, walk away. 100%. Yeah. Have the confidence to do it. And like Jimmy said, know that it will still happen for you.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the road.
Yeah. And when it happened at the time, this was a couple of years ago now, I remember when, there was a girl that I used to kind of be talk to quite a lot, who I met in Dubai, and she was like, I am so happy for you and I am so proud of you. She's like, a lot of my friends are in situations, they're married and they're miserable.
Yeah, I hear that often.
I can't imagine anything worse.
That's torture.
Life.
Torture.
With you.
Torture. Don't do it to yourself. You know, don't feel like, because I'm 32, I'm not going to meet anyone. You'll meet.
Yeah, and he'll be fine too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he'll be fine too.
Exactly.
And he'll have the qualities that you need.
Exactly.
Yeah. God will
make a way.
Yeah, essentially.
100%.
Are there any other dating mistakes? Let me just check my list because I don't want to miss nothing like last time. Yeah. Another dating mistake as well that I think in your 20s and nowadays in society, maybe in your 30s, is don't be impressed by what a man has. Be impressed by what the man does for you.
Oof.
That's it, yeah. Because he can have everything. If he doesn't do anything for you or you spend his resources on you or invest in you, you're not the one.
100%.
That's just it, honey.
100%. He's not invested.
No, he's not invested.
He's not invested.
No.
Like, if you see yourself, and don't really attach price tags to yourself, but if you see yourself as cryptocurrency, is he depositing into you? And that doesn't just have to be in cash dollar. That can be in
it can be in supporting your business. It could be mentally. It could be physically in terms of let's go to the gym. If the man is not investing in you, he don't care about you.
He doesn't care about you. He's not trying to build a future with you.
No.
Because you do not invest.
You're helping him pass his time, honey.
Exactly. Because when you put money into something, you expect it to appreciate in value over the years.
Yep.
So is he investing in you? Ask yourself the question.
Ask yourself.
Ask it. But also another thing that I was going to say is don't make yourself too accessible, girl.
Oh, please talk about it.
Don't make yourself too accessible.
Basically, honey, get some hobbies.
Yes.
Be busy.
Yeah.
Talk to your girls. Yes. Maintain them solid friendships.
Yes.
Because the men always do as well. Have you realised?
Exactly.
Women, you have less and less friends.
Oh, but they've all got their circles.
Boys' night. Holiday,
Tell
Vegas.
Us. Speak on it.
I'll be looking at the camera. They know who I'm talking to.
But it's true. Like, you know, make sure that you're not too accessible. You know, you want to make sure that you still prioritize yourself, make time for yourself, put yourself first. You know, you are in a relationship with somebody, but you're also an individual still.
Yeah, and you're in a relationship with yourself till you die.
Yeah,
that's
100%.
Just it.
And also, when we link it back to your 20s, don't make yourself too accessible to guys who, you know, just when they call you, you answer.
Yeah, you'll get air.
And you'll get air. But also, like, a lot of these guys are, you don't know what they're saying behind your back. I'm going to just call up this ting.
I mean, the ting.
But you know what I mean? Like, have some value to you. Don't let a guy think you're just that accessible, that he could just call you at any time and he could just... You know, you're just going to be there. You're waiting.
I know we see loads of TikToks on it where it's like, oh, yeah, I'm never talking to him again. And he calls you and then they go walking.
You go walking.
No, honey.
Honestly, have value to yourself.
TikTok is funny, but it's actually in real life and in reality, it's not that funny.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't think I have anything else on my list. Oh, actually, one more.
Go on.
One more.
Go on.
Don't expect people to love how you love. So, like, don't expect if I'm naturally a giver and I'm naturally a nurturer and I'm naturally this, understand that your partner might love you in a different way, and it's up to you to decide whether you can accept that love from them in the way they give it. Because sometimes we want people to love us the way that we love.
Yeah.
And it doesn't always work like that.
It's selfish. And the thing
20s
is...
and 30s for that one as well.
Do you know what? Let me speak on a situation that I was in.
Okay, tell me about it, girl.
So I
need some wine for this.
You can pick it up.
I'm gonna pick it up.
But it was my partner's birthday, and I'm there thinking, oh, let me book like a back massage, do something nice. And then, but he had been telling me, I don't want to do anything. Like, I just want to chill.
Oh, okay.
And I'm there thinking, chill? No, we're booking a back massage and we're going out for dinner.
Oh my God.
Oh no, it didn't go down well.
So he didn't want to go for the back massage?
No, but the thing is, he appreciated it. He appreciated the effort.
Yeah.
But then he gave me a quick reality check by the end of the day, because he was just like, it's my birthday.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's really interesting.
And
that's a really good example.
I want for my birthday, to do nothing. You wanted to enjoy back massage and go out to all these restaurants. I wanted to chill. I learned.
That's a very good point, though.
But after
that's
that,
a really
it
good
taught
example.
me, because that really highlighted it to me. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, who wouldn't want to celebrate their birthday? But that's because that's what I'm like. Listen, my birthday, June. Guys, just FYI, just, you can deposit things into my account. It's fine.
She's June 21, I'm June 20, just saying.
Imagine. So I'm the type of person who loves to celebrate my birthday. I love it, love it, love it, love it. So to me, I would do the same for anyone else. It's like, I want to have that same...
to be. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a really good, that's a good example.
That's something, that's it's definitely something that I've learned.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah.
But I think that is it from me. Have you got anything, any afterburners?
Do you know what? There was something I was pondering, but I just can't remember. Maybe we'll have to do a part 3.
We'll see.
We'll see. But yeah.
Okay, but thank you very much for listening, guys.
If
you have any comments or you think we've missed anything, please comment them below. Ooh.
Somebody's alarm is going off.
Yeah. Please comment them below. And yeah, I think that's... Is there anything else?
No. I mean, definitely. Like, if you haven't watched Dating Mistakes #1, watch Dating Mistakes #1, because there are so many gems in that one. So many gems. And we hope you enjoy this one too. If you want another one,
let us know.
Let us know.
Speak soon, guys.
Speak soon.